Moses Ituama. Now, Turkey Al-Sheikh has put forth that he desires to see a matchup between Moses Ituama and Oleksandr Usyk after Usyk's undisputed world title fight against Daniel Dubois, in finishing that fight in spectacular fashion. Now he wants to see Moses Ituama kind of put through the fire. Now, I don't really understand the point of sending 20-year-old upcoming prospect up against the beast in Oleksandr Usyk, who's just been dominating. It's just reigning supreme each and every single fight. Like, his greatness is undeniable, and yet you want to send this young prospect up against kind of a undeniable ass whooping. There's only going to be like one possibility from this matchup, and I don't see what Turkey Al-Sheikh is necessarily seeing with these two fighters. I don't see what reality he's living in, where Moses Ituama has what it takes at the young age of 20 to go against the 38-year-old undisputed world champion Oleksandr Usyk, who beat Anthony Joshua twice, Tyson Fury twice, who they were calling the greatest of all time before Usyk stepped into the picture, who beat Daniel Dubois twice, who beat all these champions multiple times. You want to bring a man that never fought for a belt in his life, never fought a dude that had a belt in his life. You want to see that matchup, and you think it's going to go in what favor? In what way? Now, Moses Ituama clearly isn't ready for this matchup, but that isn't to say after Dillian White he doesn't gain a bit of technique, he doesn't learn a little bit more, and he doesn't take from that fight the skills necessary to go into a fight against Oleksandr Usyk in last 12 rounds. But there's also the truth that if Daniel Dubois, who fought Hrgovic, who fought Gerald Miller, who fought champions in there, champion contenders, and knocked them out and stood toe-to-toe for all 12 rounds against those guys, there's also just the truth that if Daniel Dubois couldn't last in the ring with Oleksandr Usyk, that Moses Ituama isn't going to last in the ring against Oleksandr Usyk. Because if you're looking at that Daniel Dubois fight, it wasn't like he was overpowered by all the size and all the weight of Oleksandr Usyk. Oleksandr is a cruiserweight going up to heavyweight. He comes from 200 pounds. And he's going up and fighting all these bigger guys. Tyson Fury had a 40 to 50 pound weight advantage against Oleksandr Usyk going into both fights. So it wasn't power that took over Daniel Dubois. It was technique. It was simple skills that took over Daniel Dubois in 4 or 5 rounds. So Moses Ituama being thrown into the fire after fighting a Dillian White and before that kind of a no-name, or I can't say no-name, but compared to who Oleksandr Usyk fought, compared to who Daniel Dubois fight, it's kind of a spit in the face of the champion. That this is the dude that's supposed to be on my level. You have Joseph Parker, you have Martin Bakoli, you have Ajit Kabayel, you have all of these champion contenders, even interim champions being skipped over for a ring ambassador. Why? Just to make Turkey's brands look good. It's kind of disrespectful to Oleksandr Usyk, because Turkey didn't only do that. He also put Jake Paul in the ring with Oleksandr Usyk. And right after that, Joseph Parker was there. Instead of making Joseph Parker the interim champion to Alexander's Undisputed World Championships, instead of making that face-off happen, he makes Joseph Parker face off with Jake Paul too. Just back-to-back disrespect to the sport of boxing and to Oleksandr Usyk. And kind of to Moses Ituama, you're not necessarily giving him the time to develop as a fighter and to kind of do his, like, you're speeding up his career instead of letting it take the time that it needs to grow and to develop into that fighter that could be a generational talent. Because he is like, how do you put it? Like, he's like the prodigy of the division. He's what everybody's looking at to take over Oleksandr Usyk's reign and all of those guys. He's the Shakur Stevenson of Lomachenko. He's the who else, like the Javante Davis of the Floyd Mayweather. He's like the out with the old, in with the new. I don't really know how to describe it, but you kind of get what I'm trying to say. But you're kind of messing that up just to get, I guess, you like your company's name in the door. You want to see Ring Magazine ambassador going for the Undisputed World title. You want, and also it could be because he's building up TKO, and he also wants that league to like have substantial names with actual value, but also like validity once it comes into that boxing sphere. That we're not just some no-name league. We have world champions. We have world prospects. But that's my take of it all. And shout out Moses Ituama.